Hi, and welcome to the Expansive Journey. My name is Julie, and in this video, I'm going to talk about contrasts and polarities and how that create our experience of reality. So this message is something that was shared or channeled through me on plant medicine, and I feel very called to share it with you today. And it's related to how we create or how we experience reality, depending on the ladder, where we are on the ladder in terms of remembering what we really are. Meaning that the higher dimensions we are in and more connected we are to a true being or true self or our natural state, which is source consciousness, non-duality, singularity, the unmanifested. It's been a lot of names, God consciousness. In that state, there's no experience that is separate from another. It's a singularity state, a state of non-duality. And as souls, when we can say that we go on a journey to experience what we can become and see how we can create ourselves and as a separate entity from all that is. And to have that experience, we need contrasts and polarities, at least in this universe we do. And when we are not in a state of non-duality, we are experiencing life on this spectrum of different contrasts and polarities. It's not normal to be completely on one side of the spectrum or the other. It's usually that we find ourselves in between at different points in time or different points in life. And some of the polarities are masculine and feminine, good and bad, old and young, because we exist inside of time, right? Smart and stupid, slow and fast. All of these, everything that you can imagine, everything that we experience exists on a scale of polarities or a polarity or a contrast. And in some cases, we also have Trinity. For example, the three primary colors, blue, yellow and red. It's like all the colors exist within those three, right? So it's all the different, or everything that we experience exists on a spectrum of a contrast or a polarity, or a trinity, or a more, I don't know how to say it in English, like a more multidimensional space, so that we move and experience life within. So what was channeled through me, or what was channeled to me, was that the more we descend from source consciousness, meaning that the more we forget what we are, the more contrasts come into existence, the more polarities come into our experience. So you can say that the third dimension is a lower density, you can say, and that contains a lot of, and that contains like a very rich playground to play around in, because you have completely forgotten what you are and you can create yourself all over again. And you have so many different options as a soul to choose within. Are you going to be a woman or a man? Are you going to be dark skin or light skin? Are you going to be smart or stupid? Are you going to be successful or unsuccessful? Whatever that means for the mind, right? And the more we start to ascend, like instead of moving into ignorance, we start to remember or realize our true nature. These contrasts, it becomes visible for us that they are just illusions or appearances made out of the mind, right? And they start to cease to exist. They start to vanish, actually, from our experience. And the higher we ascend and the closer we get to singularity, the less we experience of the contrasts and polarities. Everything becomes more directly experienced in a very different way. And one very, very fundamental contrast or polarity that is maybe primary to everything else is the polarity or the contrast of self and others. And when we are in our ego consciousness, we believe that we are a separate self, separate personality in a world of others. And the book Law of One also talks about this. And they talk about it like if you're going to ascend to the next dimension, you're going to have to be 51% service to others or something. It's actually better described is that it's not so much about being service to self or service to others. It's more about realizing that that polarity is an illusion itself. There is no self and others, it's only self. It's only one of us. And when you realize that there's no others, it's just you. Of course you are of service to others. Why would you not be of service to others? It's actually because it's also service to self. It's the same thing. And that is also one of the polarities that start to vanish when we ascend and move up to or into our true nature. So we can say that in the lower densities, it invites us into a much richer experience, a much more creative playground where we have the ability to create ourselves into what we want to be as souls, because we completely forget what we are, and we have the opportunity to create ourselves all over again, which is fun and exciting until we wake up, and it's usually not so fun anymore. That's usually why we wake up, and we start to remember what we really are beyond the conceptual mind, beyond the conceptual ideas, which is where the contrast exists within. So in the higher dimensions, the polarity of masculine and feminine disappears. The polarity of good and evil disappears. The polarity of you and me disappears, and there's just one of us. And we can play around in the world of contrast and polarities for many lifetimes. But the moment we start to question what that really is, the truth about that, then we start to see that it's nothing but an illusion and something that has been created for us to explore and experience and have fun within. The polarity we experience from moment to moment has really nothing to do with the truth of what we really are. It is nothing but appearances, nothing appearing as something. And with that, I want to wrap up for today and say thank you for watching. Remember to like this video and share if it resonates. Subscribe to my channel and leave a comment below how you experience this. And if my message do resonate with you, I would like to invite you to book a call with me, and we can see if you are a good fit for my coaching program, for my program, Awaken You. And the link for booking a call with me, you can find in the description below if you are on YouTube. And if you are on Instagram, you can find it in my bio. And until next time, much love and namaste.